Hi there, Mark Onoja here, business growth expert, and you're welcome to Do Business, where I share with people simple biblical principles to enable them grow their business and career. And today I'll be starting a series on the parable of the sons. A lot of people call it the prodigal son, the parable of the prodigal son, but the word prodigal talks about someone that is lavish and someone that is reckless. The person that was lavish and reckless in his love and lavish in his resources was the father. So it has to be the parable of the sons. So let's start. So let's jump into. So if you look at Luke chapter 15, verse 11. So we're going to take verse 11 and 12 today. And it said, that is Jesus, a certain man had two sons. The younger said to the father, Father, give me the portion of the goods that falls to me. And he divided unto them his living. And not many days after, the younger son gathered all together and took his journey into a far country. So we'll talk about that in the next video. But today I would just like to share with you on two things. Number one, the young son had the boldness to go and meet his father and said, give me what apportioned to me, give me my inheritance. And one of the things I discovered that the dad didn't even argue. I think the guy was excited that this guy has come into maturity and is asking for his inheritance. And he gave it to him. He divided his living and gave to him. And the Bible said he gathered, right? So, two things. Number one, ask God for your inheritance in the marketplace. Yeah, I know this may sound a bit weird. Wherever whatever sector that God has put into your heart for you to go into, there's an inheritance God has kept there. You need to ask God for that inheritance. I did this prayer a long time ago where I know that God has put me in the consulting space and for small business and startup. And I told God that, say, give me my inheritance within this space. And of course, I have some resources and I have some certain inheritance that has been given to me, and there's more that I can still get. So you need to ask God. And the Bible said in Psalms that ask of me, and I will give you the hidden for your inheritance and the uttermost part of the earth for your possession. There was no spiritual substance there. It had to do with physical things. Thing hidden for your inheritance and the uttermost part of the earth for your possession. So ask God today for your inheritance. Like ask God, God, this sector you have taken me into, because God, in the book of Deuteronomy, God was speaking through Moses to the Israelites, which is now us, that you're going to be the head and not the tail. If you're going to be the head, you need to ask. Tail just talks about anything, just goes. The head means you determine the direction to which that sector goes through. So you need to ask God for your inheritance. Ask God to be the head. There is nothing wrong with that. God is excited about us being the head wherever we find ourselves, right? That sector, God wants you to sit on that sector as a prince for him and rule that for him. The next thing is that the Bible said that the guy gathered. I liked that. So this guy gathered. He did just ask and sat down there. The father gave it to him and he gathered. A good way of gathering, two ways. Number one is by faith. We gathered by faith. So usually a lot of preachers say faith is the hand that takes from God's hand what God has made available for us. So the guy had faith to gather whatsoever his dad has bequeathed to him. Number two is that the guy created a system for gathering. So it goes beyond just asking God to give you something. You need to put systems in place that these blessings can fall down. There's a part that Jesus Christ fed. Is it 5,000 or 7,000? And the Bible said, I think it's in Luke, that he asked them to sit in fifties. So Jesus was creating a structure so that when God's blessing comes, it doesn't fall off, right? So he created a structure for gathering that spiritual resources into the physical realm. So you need to create a structure around anything you're doing, because that is when you pray for God to give you your inheritance, you can have a system to which He would bless. There have to be a system in place, both for your career and for your business, wherever you find yourself, because it will enable God's resources to you to get bigger and you can gather properly. I hope this helped you. Check out the next video I will post next week, and I will be sharing more about the prodigal son, and it will help in your business and your career. God bless. Bye bye.